modal half steps forward. So if I go 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, lands me in the Ionian Ocean, which is 1, 2, 3, 4.5 modal half steps forward, which you would think would be 5.5 scale degrees, but we don't have scale degrees. It would be some kind of 6 scale degree forward. Okay, next one. Next one. This is really taking more time than we have here. Okay, that's okay. Bear with me. There's a bear with me in it, but don't worry because it's a nice bear. It won't eat you. Bear with me. So we're going to go -7 back. -7 back. So now we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lands me in the Aeolian Ocean. So that would be -1, 2, 3, 4.5 modal half steps back, which you would think would be 6.5 scale degrees back, but we don't have the scale degrees back. If I went 7 back, then that would be like going 12 minus 7, which would be 5 forward, which would be a perfect fourth. And so you can say the perfect fourth is 5 forward or 7 back, but I'd rather call it a YN negative modal range, a 4 to a 6.5 modal range, which has a -7 notes from the Lydian mode, -4.5 modal half steps back, because then if I go forward, it would clearly be and this is where it should be a 2.5, not a 2.2, but it would be a 5 note away Lydian, and it would be 7 minus 4.5, which would be a 2.5 modal half steps forward. So if I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lands me in the Aeolian Ocean, which is 1, 2.5, not 2.2 modal half steps forward, which you would think would be 3.5 scale degrees, but we don't have 3.5 scale degrees, so we're going to be at the 4 scale degrees. Okay, let's do the next one. Otra vez. Why won't it erase that? Okay, next one, we're going up, will be here, -9. So what if we go -9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lands me in the Mixolydian Ocean. That would be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 modal half steps back, which would be -6.5 scale degrees if we had scale degrees going backwards, but we don't, and we also don't have half steps going backwards or 0.5s going backwards. But what do we do instead? We go, well, if it's 9 back, 12 minus 9 would be 3 forward, which would be a minor third. So the minor third could be 3 forward or 9 back. But I'd rather call it a YA negative modal range, a 4 to a 4.5 modal range, which if I go counterclockwise to get from the Y to the A negative, that would be a -9 notes away from the Lydian mode, which would be a -5.5 modal half steps backwards. And then if I went forwards to go around it clockwise, 12 minus 9, as we saw, is going to be 3. 7 minus 5.5 is 1.5. So it'd be a 3 note away from the Lydian mode, 1.5 modal half steps forward, which you would think would be 2.5 scale degrees forward, but we don't have 0.5, so it's going to be a 3 scale degree forward. So from the Lydian here, we've got 1, 2, 3, lands me in the Mixolydian Ocean, which is 1.5 modal half steps forward, which you would think would be 2.5 scale degrees forward, but we don't have that, so it's rounded up to a minor third going forward. All right, let's do the next one. Eraser. When I click on you, Eraser, you need to get into action because you're not doing it right. All right. So what if I go back 11? So if I go back 11, so can I go 11? That's going to land me off the fretboard. So let's do it this way. There's 5 notes between the strings. So I'm going to go up, which would be a -5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Lands me in the Lydian Ocean, we're going to say. So normally I'd say if I go back 11, 12 minus 11 would be forward 1, which would be a minor second. Just would have to know that. So if I have a minor second, I could go forward 1 or back 11. I'd rather call it a YX negative range, or like a 4 to a 4.5 range, which would have a distance in the counterclockwise direction of 11 notes back from the Lydian node, which would be a 6.5 modal half step backwards, because then if I go forwards, we can see that it's 1 step forward from the Lydian node, which is a 0.5 modal half step forward. So if I'm over here, I can say then it's going to be 1 note forward, landing me in the Lydian Ocean, which would be a 0.5 modal half step forward, which you would think would be a 1.5 scale degree forward, but we don't have scale degrees. That's why it's going to be a second, or a 1 note away minor second. All right, let's try to do, I'm going to try to do the last majors here. That's going to be the Mixolydian. Let's say we're going from the Mixolydian this time. Let's pick our direction, our notes first. Try to do this, see if we learn anything, do this a little bit better. Let's go from this Mixolydian. That'll take me all the way across. So we have this Mixolydian going this way, and let's say when we go the other way, we'll try to use this Mixolydian. That one might not always be the best. Let's try that though. All right, so we're gonna say from the bottom, we're gonna go up from the Mixolydian node this time, and let's say we go up to here, the one that's gonna be in the key, and so we go back 2 this time. We have to go back 2 because this is the interval that is different if we want to land on a continent. So if I go back 2 from here, it's going to be 1, 2 to go back. Notice when I was on the Ionian, if I went back 2, I would land in an ocean, the Aeolian Ocean. I'd have to go back 1. So this is where the interval is different. So that's going to be that, and that's going to be 1 modal half step backwards, which you would think would be the negative second scale degree, but we don't have negative second scale degrees. Normally we would say if I go back 2, that would be like going forward 10, which I just have to know is a minor 7. Therefore, the minor 7 could be forward 10 or back 2, but I'd rather call it an XY modal range, which would be a 5-4 modal range, which has a distance in the counterclockwise direction of -2 from the Mixolydian mode, which would be a negative first modal half step, because then the inverse would be, or the counterclockwise direction would be a 10 note away from the Mixolydian mode. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 modal half steps forward, which would be the 7th scale degree. So in other words, if I'm here and I went 6 forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a sec, I go 10 forward. Undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't quite. Well, I'll just do it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why do I have it down here? This is the perfect one because I can just do it from here. Boom. And that would be going forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modal half steps forward, which would be the 7th scale degree. Okay, I like that. So that's cool. So now I can just delete the one in the middle and go to the next one. This is perfect. This is the best. All right. So now we're going to go back to a -4 back. So if I start from here, -4, 1, 2, 3. Wait a sec. We're going back -3 back. So we're going back 1, 2, 3. Lands me here. So that would be a -1, 2 modal half steps backwards, which you would think would be a -3 scale degree, but we don't have scale degrees, so we would normally say we're going back 3. 12 minus 3 would be forward 9. That we just have to know is a major 6. So the major 6 could be 9 forward or -3 in the negative direction. I'd rather say it's an XP modal range, a 5-3 modal range. And if I go counterclockwise or in the negative direction, it would be -3 notes back from the Mixolydian mode, which would be a -2nd modal half step. And that means that if I go the other way, it would be 9. A 9 note forward from the Mixolydian mode clockwise, which would be 7 minus 2, or 5 modal half steps forward, which would be the 6th scale degree. So if I was on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th modal half step, which would be the 6th scale degree. All right, next one. Next one. We're not done yet. I didn't hear no bell, and I don't stop till I hear bells. Why? Because that's when food happens. That's why. That's how I've been trained. I've been trained by the best. And I don't stop till food happens, and that's when the bell goes off. Okay, so we're going to say, now let's say we go back -5. So -5 back, all right? So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go back here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, -3 modal half steps back, which you would think would be -4 scale degrees if we had scale degrees, but we don't